Hi, I'm Jermz.
And I'm Jordan.
And today we're gonna build a PC.
Together.
As friends.
Did you look?
That was a keeper. Right there?
No, like at me.
No.
Sweet.
First we have to ask ourselves, what is a PC?
No.
So with this build, we're going with whatever parts we could get our hands on. What part did we get our hands on? A Ryzen
It says on the box. On the top.
A 5000 Series 9.
No.
For this build, we went with a Ryzen 5900X and a B550 Pro Gaming motherboard
Because
from
it was
Gigabyte.
bundled with the graphics card.
That's right, we got one.
No. Don't do that.
We also got a PCIe Gen 4 NVMe drive, SSD.
I bought a 500 and they sent me a terabyte.
Don't tell them that.
I got it from an undisclosed place owned by Jeff Bezos.
And we got some sick RGB high-speed RAM. And to keep it quiet and powered, we'll knock my beer off. It's a Be Quiet Dark Power Pro 11.
How many watts?
A lot.
Is it fully modular?
Yeah.
It is not. They didn't
You
make
didn't get a fully
They didn't make it fully modular at the time.
Look at this guy buying crap parts. Where are we gonna put it all?
Now the mic can't hear you.
And a Cooler Master H500M.
So what do you say we get started, Jermz?
Let's go. All right, first step, flash the BIOS.
Hopefully successfully. There are other videos that'll show you how to do that, but it's it's different for every board, so make sure you search your actual board on how to do it. Not every single one has the ability to flash the BIOS without a processor of the current configuration. So.
And when we did it, it was fairly quick and painless, so it may seem intimidating, but it wasn't too bad.
For this model.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, time to install the CPU.
Okay, so what you want to do is you don't want to touch the top with your fingers. If I had gloves, I would be wearing them, but I'm
Gloveless.
I don't want to. All right, so at the bottom corner, or at one of the corners of your CPU for Ryzen, you'll have a tiny golden triangle. On the socket itself, there's also a tiny triangle in this corner here. You want to line those up. That's how it's going to go in.
Pull up your pry bar.
Any of the pins messed up?
Nope, they look good.
Good, okay, let's try not to ruin them. This is scary. Why is this scary now?
You bent them all.
This has never been scary before.
Lining
Is
up
it because this
triangles.
is my fancy, okay, there we go. Okay, it should fall into place so you don't have to like push it.
Yeah, don't.
If you push it, you'll bend some pins and it's trash. Once it's seated in there, you just take this. Oh God, I can feel the pressure. Okay, hook it there.
Locked in.
Golden.
Your CPU is now installed.
And you get a cool sticker you can put on your case. Whoa! How'd you get that?
Next, we find it easier because of the size of our air cooler to install the RAM.
That was Jerm's suggestion. I was about to put the cooler on myself. Which it does make sense, so I'll give him that. Here we have 4 sticks, so it doesn't really matter which slot we populate.
Nope.
But if you have a 2-stick setup, or you have a 4-stick setup and you have 8 slots, be sure to consult your motherboard manual to let you know which one it goes in. Not that one. One side is shorter than the other, so it should go in, it only goes in one way.
Oh yeah, dude. Clicks right into place. Nice.
You should have to give it a little force, but if you're pushing hard, it should just be like, look at this. Look at this. Like, watch. Like, I just had to, you know. I've never had this much RGB RAM.
You just have to ram it in.
What?
Click. One more can.
And then number 4.
Boom.
Boom.
Done.
Full. That's gonna be bright, dude. I don't even need the lights in my office.
It's gonna be covered by the cooler.
It's got fins. It's got fins so it'll shine through, right? Except for that'll be a fan over it right there, but I'm not an RGB fan. But it's fine. It's fine.
It's just good to know that you have the RGBs available.
It makes it faster. So, do you want to tell everybody about this bad Jackson?
That is a CPU cooler.
Air cooler, because I don't want to have to maintain this system at all. If you don't want to change your fluid every 3 months and have to deal with that to, you know, make your parts last the longest, go air. It's much easier and honestly
Comparable.
the performance is there. Unless you have like a full custom loop with like 10 radiators, not 10, like huge radiators, great fans, all that good stuff, like it's not gonna compare. Also, this is a giant air cooler, so it's pretty beefy.
Cool.
Gamers Nexus did a review of this, and they were not that impressed with it. In my experience, it has been a great cooler. I have it on my other system that has a Ryzen 2700X, which isn't known for being a hot system. So we're gonna try it on this system because the 5900X does run a lot hotter. But if these fans aren't enough, I also got some Noctuas that I'm gonna swap out and see what the difference is, because these max out at 800 RPMs, super quiet. The Noctuas I got, I believe, are 1300 to 1400 RPM. So there's existing mounting brackets for the standard Ryzen cooler built into the system, or built into the motherboard. Jermz is going to remove those.
Just 4 screws.
Easy peasy. So as CPU coolers are all different and they all have different mounting mechanisms, don't be too concerned with the way we're doing it. This is something a lot of people don't do. But even if I have a new CPU that I haven't put my fingers on and everything, I still like to use like a surface purifier. Some people use rubbing alcohol, which as far as I know that still works, but I don't know. I've always had really good luck with this stuff. So
Just a couple drops. A Q-tip to smother it.
smother.
Q-tip to cover all the edges.
So once that evaporates, you'll be able to see it when it does. We want to do the same thing to our cooler as well, because it's got this gross tape on it, just to be safe, since you know, your whole system is pretty expensive.
Take the extra step now while it's already out. That way you know you have maximum performance going forward.
Speaking of maximum performance, what kind of thermal paste do we have, Jermz?
For thermal paste, we're using the Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut.
I think I'm gonna spread it just because I used to do the P when I use like Arctic Silver and other things but this is non-conductive, so we don't have to worry if it goes over the side, right? Unless it like, for some reason, like gets down in the socket. But I'm not gonna put that much on, so you don't have to worry about that. But I think that's good.
Yeah.
It looks nice, right?
Yeah.
Look how perfect that is. You want it to be perfect. If it's not perfect, your system won't even boot. Now, that's the thing, is like, I'm going into like extreme detail with this. You can do a P size for Ryzen, no issue. Green P size, not like,
green P.
you know, not like P, not like human P, like that. Mine's all thermal
Gorgeous.
pasted. All right, now, before it dries. You don't have to worry about it drying.
Look at that.
Look at that, it's on. We installed the CPU cooler, y'all. All right, so now we're gonna install the fans. Actually,
And real quick, make sure if you're gonna get a fan this size that you make sure it fits in your PC case, because it is quite massive.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna have maximum airflow through there. Just whoosh! It's like that. So
Well,
then they
a
give
little
you
bit
this little 2-pin or 2-fan connector thing. So you can throw it in there and then it just plugs into one CPU fan. Okay, so we'll manage these later, but it's essentially just gonna go right there. Whoop. Right there. Should have 9 holes for your motherboard if it's an ATX design, which is full size, which is like what we have. Some cases will come with your standoffs pre-installed for an ATX if it's a full-size case like this. But if the manufacturer should have done it and they didn't want to, Cooler Master, you have to put them in yourself. Best way to do this, lay your case down. That's also how we're gonna install the motherboard.
All right.
I'm gonna do the cardinal sin and lift this by the cooler because this cooler, the motherboard doesn't weigh much. What's the issue? And once you get your motherboard in there, you should be able to wiggle it and it's still sitting in there. All right, so now we just pass the fan header for the front fans through this grommet on the back. Pass the fan header through here to get to the, so we're gonna pass the HD audio from the front IO up through here on the bottom because you're gonna have a connection on the bottom of your motherboard. All right, so now USB 3.1, I guess we're just gonna figure out. I hate this connector, dude.
Yeah.
So much. It's like you have to crimp it to get it into place, you know what I mean? And then it's like just pushing up on it constantly. One of the main differences between X570 and B550 is you're not gonna have as much IO support and USB support and PCIe lanes or USB and all that good stuff. So with this power supply, bracket that they have on the back of this case, I can actually remove it, put it on the power supply and slide the power supply in from the rear. And when you put in your power supply, if you have vents or a filter on the bottom, make sure you go fan side down, okay? That's gonna give it a lot more room to breathe, and that's why you wanna keep it off the floor. So for the 8-pin power,
8-pin power.
these ones I found were easiest to install and then
Wire it through the back.
yeah. These are just gonna go right in the back just like the last one.
Okay.
I mean, you have this on yours, like literally, that's how I had them installed on that one. 4 is gonna wrap. Back to the motion. Yeah, probably middle. All right, so front panel connectors. Put this in here. Just gonna shove this in with no regard for anything. What? Dude, that looks pretty smooth.
Let's take a look. Oh, wow. Dang.
Now I kind of wish those matched. So now we're finally to the part where all we have left is to hook up the GPU. So, comes with this little protective bit on the end. And we've already got everything wire managed, right? So,
Yep.
should be able to just plug her in there as hard as we can.
Good talking to me.
Honestly, that feels really stable, even how it is. But we're still gonna use our GPU support bracket because it's built in to this overpriced case. All right, so that's it, right? Dude, we built a computer. Now, for the moment of truth, does it turn on? Look at that. We did a thing.
First try.
Right there. High five. It's making like no noise, and you're on the exhaust side.
Yep.
That's why I love this case. With these big 200 mil fans, you're gonna get a lot more air moved, but they don't have to spin as fast as 120s or 140s, so it's gonna lower your volume.
So that was the completion of our first PC build.
On the channel,
Yeah.
we have built millions of PCs.
I built one, no, 2.
But yeah, we haven't built a ton of PCs. This was literally the 4th PC I've ever built. We did run into some hiccups with motherboard limitations. I'm not gonna have use of all of the front panel I/O. But if you guys like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, throw us some comments, tell us what you would have done differently. Tell us how you would have put a 3090 in there or two of them and went with a 5950X or a 64 core Threadripper because we're noobs. Be sure to check out our video on why you should be, or whether you should build or buy, even though we just built one. And if you're looking for peripherals, check out our Keychron K4 wireless review over here.
Put it on my face.
Yeah, well, the first one's on mine, so, you know, don't feel bad.
Thanks for watching.